Hey friends, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I'm Lori. I am the creator behind Stitch and Moan. I specialize in cute and creepy crochet plushies. If you have been here before and hung out with me prior, thanks for coming back. This week is going to be another market prep video, so if you are into crochet market prep videos, stick around because there's going to be a ton of stuff to talk about this week. Okay, so obviously I didn't have a video last week. I did get a few things made. I just did not want to vlog it. I don't know, I just wasn't feeling it last week. I had planned on recording like a short catch-up vlog on Friday and to have something to post on Saturday. And Friday I got a headache and it did not go away until yesterday. Today is Wednesday. So I have been fighting a weather migraine for days now, and today is the first day that I feel somewhat human. I felt awful yesterday, the day before, which really stinks because this is spring break week. We decided to take the week off. All the kids in the neighborhood are in public school, the ones that my son is friends with. So we decided that we would just do spring break at the same time as the public school kids. If you're new here, I homeschool my son, and that's like a huge part of my day. So I squeeze my crochet work into whenever I can, which is usually very, very early in the morning, which is why I don't vlog a whole lot, like making it, because either the lighting is bad or I'm puffy and swollen and don't look human because I haven't had coffee yet. But anyway, let's get into what I have made. Last week I did get some stuff made. Like I said, just didn't want to vlog it, but I made another of my little green aliens. And let's see, this is from Storybook. Oh my gosh, you can tell I haven't vlogged in a while because I completely have forgotten how to talk. This is from Storybook. I did it again. Storybook Crochet. So I did it in the lime green, which I love. And then I also made another one in the bright purple Big Twist Posh that I also love. So now I've got 3 of these. I have 2 in the green and 1 in the purple. So these I can cross off my list. And then keeping with the alien theme, in homeschool we are talking about space and extremophiles, hint hint of something coming up later, and planets and everything. So I kind of went with the alien theme. That's why I made those 3 aliens. And then I made Chompy the Snowmorph from, is it Mo Squared, Mo2 Squared? I don't know. I'll put it up here, but nobody seems to know how to pronounce this handle. But I love this. I mean, we know what this is from. H.R. Giger is one of my favorite artists, and he has been one of my favorite artists for like actual decades. So I was super excited to be able to make something, based on one of his creations. So this is going to be at my market. I'm not sure how much I'm going to sell him for, but anyway, I love it. I'd started it, and then at the beginning of February, and then I got a commission through my Etsy shop, and I put him aside and finished him. And the skein of black yarn that I had to use, I used Bernat, was the worst skein I have ever touched from Bernat. It's awful, and I still have some. I'm trying to get through it so I can get it out of my house. But anyway, I love him. I thought he was going to be a little bit bigger. I would love to make one of him in demi pearl. I think that would be just so fun. I think I used a 6.5 millimeter hook. I'm really into the 6.5 millimeter right now. So there's my Snugglemorph. Those are the 2 alien themed things that I did this week. I am also, from Danelle's book back here, Danielle, I'm going to do the regular, the regular alien, the gray with the head and the eyes and everything. I don't have any light gray yarn. I don't have enough light gray yarn. So I'm going to have to do that another day. And then at some point, I'm going to make a tardigrade. So we love tardigrades in this house. So those are like the alien themed things that we have done. Oh, wait. Even though I've been struggling with very bad headaches, I have been able to work a little bit. Just, kind of whenever I had some kind of reprieve from the throbbing ice pick pain. So it actually kind of helped with my headaches because I could like focus on something else instead of like, oh, this is misery. So I made another little Demogorgon baby from Just a Mom Crocheting. So now I have 2 of these. These are going to be at my market. This is the last of my Bernat almond yarn. I'm looking to make sure that is correct. So, and we're going to talk about this here in a little bit also. I'm not really sure what's going on with this, but this skein is like a really light color. And I went back to the store to get some more, and it's darker. And I've heard people say that the old formula of almond was darker, and then the newer one was this lighter color. I don't know. I don't know. But the only shade of almond that my Walmart had was the darker, which I actually like for voodoo dolls, and I think it would work up really cool for the Demogorgon also. I've got 2 of these now, and I don't know if I want to make any more. We might just put that on hold and just see. I've got 2 small ones, and then I've got the bigger one from Eld's to Chores. So those will be at my market also. So I've been binging a lot of market prep videos and market recap videos just to kind of like get in the mood for that. And I was influenced by Christine at What's Up Cupcake to make these. Because I am going to have some Snuggle Beans dragons that are going to be at a higher price point. I really wanted to have something, make sure that I have like some less expensive items. So I made these 2 little dragons from Amateur Hour. I'll pop that up there. This was the first one I made. I did not paint these eyes. I just used the little backs that came with them, which I'm happy with. I do wish that I would have put this blue one on this one, but whatever, because it kind of gets lost. I haven't taken the little thing off of that because I don't want them to get scratched. These were long since lost. But anyway, this worked up in like an hour, and that is including struggling with where to put the baubles. Her baubles are on the sides, and it looks like he's laying down, but I could not get them to line up. So this was easier for me to just do them on the bottom. And then, as I say, it was easier to get them to line up. This one is kind of like a little wonky, but I like this colorway. I like this like mossy green. And I just added some extra chains on the end of the wings to give them a little more detail. And hers, she does the horns separate, but I just did a 3-loop. I think it was a 3-loop bauble, because I was wanting to do the least amount of sewing on these as I can. So I've got 2 of these made right now. I don't know if I'll do any more. Probably. Like I said, I hear a cat. They work up quick, and they're pretty fun to make. So, but also this week, I started Vera the Vulture, and I just need to do her other wing and sew her all up, and she's done. But like the worst skein of black Bernat I've ever used, and then the gray is the Cozy Occasion from Hobby Lobby that I hate. Joanne, I miss you so much. But I've got 1 wing made, her legs, and her little tail feathers. So once I have that other wing made, and I'm putting that off because working with the 2 yarns that I hate here, is not fun. So avoiding that at all costs right now. But I need to get that done and then cross that off my list. I wanted to have some kind of spooky bird. I'm hoping to have a crow or several crows. I started one the other day, but I wasn't happy with how it turned out. It might just have been because I put the eyes in a weird spot. I remember I bought this pattern last year. It was one of the first patterns I ever bought, and I struggled with it a year ago, like when I was still kind of new to crocheting, and I figured, oh, I'd probably knock this out in no time. For the most part, yes, but the eye placement at the point where they say to put it in, for me, was a little tricky. I'm visual, and it just wasn't lining up right. And then after I got the body made, I was about to put the wings on, I noticed that the eyes are just not in the right spot for me. Plus, I didn't like the wings. I wanted to do something a little, I don't want to say fancier, but a little different with the wings. So we may revisit that because I don't know. I feel like with my vibe and everything, I have to have a crow or raven or whichever one. So, but I don't want to buy another pattern. So if you know a free crow pattern, let me know. So I'm working on that. And then the last work in progress that I have right now, the last whip I have is, I think anyway, a red fire dragon. And this is the Darth the Dragon pattern from Snugglebeans Crochet. I'm obsessed with right now. I ordered some safety eyes Monday, and then I painted them yesterday, I think, and I believe they're dry. So we're gonna get those eyes placed, and then I only have like 2 or 3 more rounds to finish out the head. I need to make his ears and then sew him all up, and he's done. So, oh, here are the eyes. Roll them over. I painted these just with some craft paint, nothing fancy, but I'm very pleased with how they turned out. I wanted them to have like a fire-ish, I said that like Beavis, a fire kind of flaming look to them. And these are 30 millimeters. So I'm excited to put the larger eyes on this guy. So that's what we have right now. Like I said, I'm working on a vulture. I'm working on this dragon. And then today's Wednesday. We still have a couple days left. I want to make one of my the Titan patterns, but I'm going to do it in Posh. I think I might need to take a break on Bernat for a little bit because my hands they're not really sore, but I do want to kind of give them a break. So I think I might do 2 tinies. I want to do one in like the kale color, and then I want to do one maybe in the dark gray. I'm not sure. I want to get my son's opinion on this since this is like I wrote this pattern for him. But I definitely want to do one in kale because I feel like that would be kind of like the old school. I don't want to say the name because of all the IP, but I think doing like a green one with like the gray spike would be kind of a nice callback to the original or one that I've seen, the cartoon. But anyway, and then maybe a gray one with the blue spike. I'm not sure yet. I have to decide on that. We also need to pack a mouse. I sold a little mouse, so we need to get him packed up and shipped out. Today's Wednesday, so we have our lecture at the library. We're still doing it even though it's spring break, which is fine. I'm happy to get out of the house and go learn something so I can stop by the post office and then get home and continue making things. So I think right now I'm going to pack up the mouse and get that ready because I'm terrified I'm going to leave and forget it. So I'm going to do that and figure out what to make next. Also need to make some voodoo dolls, but that might be next week's thing because I have to do that in Bernat. But anyway, I will check back in later on when I have something else done. Okay, happy Friday. I'm back. It is like 4 o'clock Friday afternoon. Happy Friday the 13th for those of us who celebrate. So I'm wrapping up my week. I think my hands need a little bit of a break because I have been very busy with market prep. As you saw earlier in the clips, I was working on some different things, and I've got most of my whips finished. So what we're going to do right now is I'm just going to show what I have made since the last time I updated. Let's see where to begin. First off, we're going to start with Vera, my vulture. I love her. I think I may have mentioned I made a black vulture for I was in the tester call, or the tester group for her, and I made a black vulture, which is, they're so cool. My son and I love vultures. We get excited every time we see them. So this time I wanted to do a turkey vulture. I thought it would be fun to have some like creepy birds at my market. You don't, normally see a crocheted vulture somewhere. So we've got her. She's going to be there. So I finished her. Oops, I forgot my camera was there. I finished that wing earlier today. It was not as much of an issue as I thought it was. So I got that done, got her all sewn up. So she's done. And then the big thing that I worked on this week was Darth the Dragon from Snugglebeans Crochet. And I've said it before, I will continue saying it. I am obsessed with this pattern. It works up pretty quickly. I mean, there are a lot of components to it, but the thing is that there are a lot of pieces to it. The tail, the legs, the arms, those are all crocheted in, and then everything else is sewn on. So yeah, it does take some time, but look how cute he turns out. And I painted these safety eyes. They're 30s. And I wanted them, like I said in the last clip, I wanted them to be kind of like a flame, sparkly kind of effect. And I'm leaving a little tape on them until the day of the show. But this is my fire dragon with the yellowish orange detail. I wanted to do a flame on the end of the tail, but I thought that might be too much. But anyway, turned out really quick, or made up really quick, and I think he turned out super cute. So I'm going to have more of these. I do want to do an ice dragon, and I started on it last night, but the yarn is Sweet Snuggles Light, and it's one of the starchy skeins. So I just got to, I did half of the head, and I was like, you know what? We're not going to do this right now. It was not fun. So that is a project for maybe next week, because that yarn is not fun to use. And speaking of yarn that was not fun to use, I mentioned that the black that I've been using this week is terrible from Bernat. I got a bad skein. So I'm trying to use this as much as I can with like smaller projects. So, and I mentioned about having a crow. I think I talked about having a crow or some crows. Since I've got Vera, I also wanted to, and she's going to be pricier than, what I'm about to show you, because that was a lot of sewing, fur yarn, lots of, color changes with the wings. A lot of work went into that. And this is from, okay, wait a minute. This is Crocheting by Casey, or Crocheting with Casey. I never remember. I'll put it up on the screen. Her Vera the Vulture pattern, highly recommend it. She's got it written in there of like how you can do the different vultures, like the different wing types and everything, since vultures look different. There are different types, if you did not know. They were learning. But anyway, this little crow was one of the first patterns I ever bought. This is from, I think it's called Lazy Toy. I'll put it up here. But I made one last year and I didn't like how it turned out. So I made another one and I didn't like how it turned out. But I had not put the wings on. I hadn't put the tail on. I didn't finish it. I just made the body. And it does look like a little peanut. But I just made the little body and I didn't finish him. And I was like, I don't like him at all. Crochet is a very much like trust the process. You've got to see it all in all of its, pieces put together before you judge, because a lot of times it's not going to look like anything until you put all the details on. And then all of a sudden I had this cute little crow. So he's going to be like, it took me about an hour to do that. And that was not he was fun to make. I mean, it was easy. So he's probably going to be around, I don't know, maybe $15. I'm not sure, maybe 14. I'd originally thought 13 because, it's a crow. And technically, I made two of these. I've got this one fully made, and then I have another one over here that has his components almost ready. I have a wing. I've got wings everywhere. So, we've got two of these now. So I'm going to make some more of these, probably maybe, I'm thinking like 3 more. For some reason, I have to do everything in odd numbers. So I think 5 of the little crows might be a good number. So I've got him. And then the last thing I worked on, I think, and this was one of those, like, woke up this morning and I'm like, if I don't make this, I will go nuts kind of projects. I like to have a lot of different whips going because sometimes I feel like working on this and sometimes I'll feel like working on this. I've got 2 skeins of demi pearl in different shades of greens, 2 different shades of greens that I had no idea what to use them for. And it just kept saying frog to me. They are like, your normal green shades. So this morning I found a tutorial on YouTube, and this one isn't completely finished because I have to go get some cotton yarn or worsted weight yarn in gold. But I made a little, he's not little, I made a wizard frog, and look how chubby he is with his cape and his hat. This is Sweet Snuggles Light. It is the most amazing skein I've used. It feels like the gray that I used on Tiny, which was awesome. So this was a good one. I'm going to keep that label and carry it with me everywhere so I can compare. But this one is so good. I think it's called Purple Meadow. I love it. It was so easy to work with. It was just so soft. But in the end, it's my color too. It's like my favorite color. So he still needs a little bit of polishing, I guess. I'm going to sew some little stars on his cape and his hat. But he's a little wizard frog. And this was a free tutorial from Chromatic Crafts on YouTube. This took me just around 75 grams, and that's what I have of both of these 2 greens. So I'm going to do that. And this was about an hour and a half, maybe. I had this knocked out before breakfast. So I'm going to make another one in the other shade of green and do a different color purple on his. I see vultures outside. How fun. And a hawk. That's a black vulture. Anyway, so a different shade of green, different shade of purple for his cape. And then I'll have these 2. And they're probably going to be, the bigger ones are going to be around 30. And if I have time, I might make some smaller ones. But I have got like, I'm talking like tiny ones. But I want to make sure that I've got some small things to go with the bigger things that I have. So that is what I made this week. And I feel like I didn't do a whole lot, but I made 2 small dragons, an alien, a bigger dragon. I finished the Snugglemorph. I made a vulture and 2 crows and a frog. So I guess that's quite a bit. And here in a minute, I'm going to cross everything off of my spreadsheet and see what we need to make for next week. So with that, I guess that's it for this week. I will start filming for next week tomorrow. I'm going to have some time to myself tomorrow. So I am planning a trip to Goodwill to see what I can find. I'm big into thrifting and secondhand shopping, and I really want to find some more shelving for this room. It also doubles as the homeschool room, I guess triples, and our 3D printer is over there, and it just needs some more shelving. I am in desperate need of a little packing station because right now I've had to move the printer. When we got the 3D printer, I had to remove our regular printer for homeschool onto my yarn shelf, which was where my packing station was. So that took up a huge amount of room. So now when I pack stuff, I have to drag everything over to our homeschool table, which is in the middle of the room. It's just not efficient or convenient, and I'm over it. So I'd love to find something small for like a little packing station, or if anything, just like a new cart for the printer, just something. Plus, just look around and see if I can find any fun things for unique display ideas. I'm going to try doing that before I start getting stuff on Amazon. There are some things that I'm going to have to order from Amazon, but I'm going to see if I can thrift everything first. Well, thrift as much as I can first. I know I'm not going to get everything at the thrift store. With that, thank you for sticking around this week and spending spring break with me market prepping. Come back next week and we will be doing some more makes. I had mentioned earlier that I wanted to make my tiny pattern. Didn't get around to that. Probably do it next week. We're probably going to do some more safety eye painting. We need to clean up in here and try to organize, but we'll see. So anyway, thank you again for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like market prep content and plushies and creepy things and just general awkwardness, please consider subscribing because there is plenty more of it where this came from. And I will see you guys next week. Bye.